For those joining us, we have Coach Yo and Angel Baker. We'll begin with questions for Angel, followed by questions for Coach. Please raise your hand if you have a question, and for those joining us on Zoom, please submit your question in the Q&A.
Angel, this was a 25-point game. You cut it down all the way to 8, I believe it was. Just with March Madness and the tournament coming up, how much confidence does the way you guys ended that game kind of give you going forward?
I mean, it just lets us know we got a chance. Oh, I'm sorry, whatever I did. It just lets us know we got a chance to compete with the best. But I was confident regardless, honestly.
Hi, Angel. I'm Aria Gerson with the Tennessean. What was different for you guys between the third and fourth quarters?
I just feel like we lost ourselves for a moment, but we eventually got back to our identity, played some defense, got some stops.
Angel, the on-ball defense, the guards was able to piece together there in the last 10, 12 minutes, forcing some turnovers from South Carolina's guards. Talk about the mentality there. What switched amongst you guys, and obviously we saw a little more aggression and a little more, I guess, purpose in that particular aspect of y'all's game, that final stretch.
Like I said, I think we just got back to who we are. You know what I'm saying? We defend, so.
Any other questions for Angel? Thank you, Angel. You're free to go.
Great.
Questions for Coach? We'll start down here.
Yo, it seems like every time you guys have played South Carolina, you've kind of had a big something to take away from it. The first time it was maybe you weren't ready for the atmosphere and the environment. The second time that you guys could play with them. I guess what was kind of your takeaway from today's game?
I just thought that you just saw two completely different teams. You saw a team that was extremely experienced for the moment versus a team that was not. It's the only way that I can sum it up. And so I thought our youthfulness showed coming out into the third. You know, it's tough playing. That's the only thing I don't like about girls basketball. Like, girls bow down too much. And so they see a shirt or a jersey and it's a 10-point spread before you even start. Where guys, they come into play. I don't care. We're going to play. That's why you see upsets happen all the time. I just didn't feel like our team believed as much as I wanted them to because things didn't go the way that maybe we wanted it to go in the first half. And I still thought the game was manageable, but when we came out in that third quarter, we were getting ready to fold, and we kind of did for a little bit. And so my whole conversation to them after that was, y'all, we got to fight. Like, we belong to be here. We're, a 6 seed. They're number 1 in the country. Like, show people what you're made of. And that's what people were able to see the last 15 minutes of the game and spots throughout the game.
Coach Teresa Walker with the Associated Press, with the way they responded after that, does that give you confidence now as you wait to learn your seed in the next tournament?
I mean, like Angel said, I thought we always we're a confident group. We are still trying to figure out how to grow in times of adversity. And adversity hit in the game, and we did not respond well. If there's one thing that I was disappointed with, it would be that. Adversity hit, and we didn't respond well. But I thought that after that, we responded how we wanted to respond. So it's not like we're not confident. We've won 23 games. No one came down the chimney and gave us those wins. We had to go and earn them. So we know that we're capable. We just have to do a better job responding. So we're just going to take some time off, rest, and continue working. And I'll probably do a better job of putting them in adverse situations in practice so that when we get into March Madness, the NCAA tournament, we'll be prepared to respond the right way.
It took Shakira a little bit to get going offensively, but then she kind of took over in the fourth quarter. What was different for her in the fourth quarter, than the rest of the game?
I just thought she started moving the ball more, understanding how they were defending her. There was a time in the game where I was telling her, like, your usage is just too high and it's too stagnant and they're loading up on you. And at halftime, we talked about what that looked like. Again, there was still some frustration on the third, so I had to sit so she could watch the game some. Sometimes you just have to watch the game. And I thought she was able to see, okay, this is what's going on. And so when she went back in, she had more clear mind. She was able to take a step back and breathe and do what she's capable of doing.
Yo, I'm curious, in games like this, I know the game just ended, but can you recall maybe specific moments where you kind of can feel that momentum shift a little bit? And
For us or them?
For you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And how do you start the process of kind of like maybe bottling that up and taking it into the next game?
The momentum shift, there was a moment in the third quarter where when I started to just say, ladies, it just looks like we're laying down, and we can't lay down. We're a 6 seed, Charlie Cream says. A 6 seed doesn't lay down. And we have all these people here, and we have to perform, no matter what. No one thought we were going to beat South Carolina anyway. But we need to perform. We need to look like an NCAA tournament team. So we can't quit. And that was my message. And so then you saw the response. So I'm proud because they responded the right way. There were times at South Carolina, we didn't respond the right way, and we barely scored 20 points, And so we were able to come back and give ourselves a chance, but it was just, too late.
Hi, Coach.
Hi.
What's the next step for you and your team while awaiting Selection Sunday?
Well, we're going to take some time off. We're going to rest. That's going to be important. And then we're going to work on moments of adversity. And we started to do that last week, but I needed us to rest more than work on this stuff. So now that we have time to rest, I'm going to give them a solid time to do that. And then we're going to work on handling adverse situations. And usually that's a young team. We're pretty young when it comes to the newness. Monk, Angel, not being in the SEC before, Maddie, Snudda are sophomores. I didn't really see South Carolina playing a lot of their pups. You know what I mean? Like they go with their experience. And so as we continue to try to build our team, because we don't just want to be a good team, we want to be a great program, I have to keep putting them in situations to get the right response. So in the game, they will be able to self-correct quicker. Because I imagine had we self-corrected coming out in the third quarter, we would have given ourselves even a better chance.
That's all we have today. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.